I'm Linda Hirsch.
I'm Jim Carney, and this is EdCast, a program created and produced by educators for everyone interested in education.
Across the country, attention is being focused on increasing student graduation rates at community colleges. As much as 70% of community college freshmen require developmental courses in reading, writing, or math, and sometimes in more than one of these. At CUNY, less than 25% of community college students graduate within 3 years. Finding ways to help these students stay in school and get a degree is crucial. CUNY's ASAP initiative is a model receiving national attention because it is increasing graduation rates. Today, University Dean Donna Linderman joins me to discuss ASAP and why it is significant for community colleges across the country.
Later on in the program, I'll visit Bronx Community College and see how they execute the ASAP program. But first, Linda and her guest in the studio.
My guest today is Donna Linderman, City University Dean for Student Success Initiatives. She directly oversees the ASAP program, which has become nationally recognized as one of the most successful community college programs in the country. Welcome to EdCast, Dean Linderman. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
You know, it's not often that we hear of a program that has a consistently positive effect on student retention and graduation rates. And ASAP seems to be one of these programs. So tell us what ASAP is, and of course, what does ASAP stand for?
So ASAP stands for Accelerated Study in Associate Programs. And the program is designed to remove the financial barriers to students entering full-time and staying full-time in their studies, and then to provide a structured pathway and then a set of coordinated and comprehensive resources and services so that the students can be successful in their studies and graduate within 3 years.
So let's talk about community college students, because we opened the show by mentioning how the issues that they face and the poor graduation rates they have. What are some of the challenges that confront a community college student? You mentioned financial. What else?
Yes. So financial is huge. So first we try to remove the barriers to students attending full-time, financial barriers. So some of the things that ASAP provides are, if there's a gap between tuition and fees, those are waived entirely. We provide monthly unlimited Metro cards to the students so that they can travel freely between work, home, and school. Transportation, as you know, is very expensive in the city of New York. So provision of that Metro card helps them with that. We also provide free use of textbooks so that the students are not worried about whether or not they can afford all their textbooks. So the financial barriers are huge. Another barrier is that education is often competing for their time. They have family obligations. They have work obligations. Many of our students are first-generation college goers, orienting to the complications and confusing nature of a college campus. Majors, offices, testing, financial aid, there's a lot to learn. So those are pretty typical barriers that most community college students face. Financial barriers, education competing for their time, and then really understanding the culture of college. And ASAP is designed to remove some of those barriers and help them get through.
What does the ASAP cohort look like? Who are these students?
So the students in ASAP, they're the typical students that would enroll in any of our CUNY community colleges. They look no different from the rest of the community college population. They have very similar profiles in terms of their skills needs. By skills needs, I mean reading, writing, and mathematics, developmental needs. But if you looked at a profile of ASAP students and CUNY community college students, they would be fairly similar. Slightly more females than males, largely Black and Hispanic, average age of about 21. The majority of ASAP students are first-time freshmen, but we also take continuing and transfer students. About 80% of our students come in with some remedial need when they apply. About 75% are Pell eligible, so they're low income. Most are graduates of the city's public school system, and about 12% have their GED. So they're very, very similar to what a typical CUNY community college population looks
Let's talk about what ASAP is. Now, you've begun to mention some of the things that you provide for students. So tell us, what is the ASAP program?
Okay, so it's primarily 3 core elements. So first, it's the financial resources I mentioned. Tuition waivers, if they have a gap need, in tuition and fees and financial aid, the Metro card, and the free use of textbooks. And then we provide structured degree pathways for the students.
Okay, what does that mean?
So all students go full-time in their major. We provide them with blocked courses and a consolidated course schedule. So if you're an ASAP student and you need to pick your kids up at 3 o'clock, we can give you a schedule so you can take all your classes, meet with your advisor, go to tutoring, and leave campus, say, by 1 or 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Conversely, we can provide you with an afternoon schedule if you need to work in the morning or take care of your children in the morning. At one of our colleges, we offer a full weekend block where students can take all their classes on Saturday and Sunday. So it's a comprehensive, consolidated schedule. We also get the students to take their remedial courses right away. But the heart and soul of the program is really our comprehensive support services. Every student's assigned to one advisor who works with them the entire time they're in the program, from the minute they walk in the door until the day they graduate. We have dedicated career development services, mandatory tutoring for students that have developmental education needs, and really just a one-stop shop where they can go and have someone either address their needs directly or refer them immediately to someplace where they can have those needs.
Why do you think having a counselor and an advisor with you from start to finish is so important?
So as I mentioned before, many of our students are first-generation college-going students. So it really does make a difference that they have one person who can guide not just their academic but also their personal growth needs. So someone who's really looking out for helping them make their way through college. College is about more than just taking your classes and getting good grades. You have to learn how to study. You have to make friends, form networks. Our advisors help the students learn to communicate effectively with faculty members. A lot of our students need coaching in those areas. So it's very helpful that there's one trusted individual that a student knows they can go to really have all of these needs addressed, who can guide their growth and progress.
How has CUNY been able to sustain this financially in terms of providing the Metro cards and all of the other benefits?
So we're very fortunate. The Office of the Mayor has invested very significantly in ASAP since inception. So the program began as a special funded project of the Mayor's Center for Economic Opportunity. And after 3 years, when we proved we were not only meeting but exceeding our targets, our funding was baselined. And then when Mayor de Blasio came in, he invested very significantly in the program's continuation and expansion. The state of New York also invests monies in the program, and we've also had some private funders, the Robin Hood Foundation, the Helmsley Trust Group, the Stella and Charles Gutman Foundation. So we've had a mix of private and public investment in the program, but we really owe a huge debt of gratitude to our mayor's office.
Great. In your literature, I've seen ASAP described as presenting students with opportunity and obligation.
Yes.
Can you describe how these two components work together?
Yes. I was literally just talking about this with a guest group from Norwalk Community College, not even a half an hour ago.
Really?
So the way we present ASAP is we bring a lot to the table. We provide a very robust package of resources and services and a whole wraparound experience set of a whole package for the students, but we expect a lot in return for them. So the obligation of students is they must come full-time. They are expected to meet with their advisor. If they're mandated to go to tutoring, they must go. They have to access our career development resources. We really expect them to be engaged fully in the program and in their education experience. So it's really this combination of us meeting in the middle, us meaning the program staff, who are really there behind the students every step of the way, and then the students stepping up and doing their part, entering full-time, staying full-time, moving through their developmental education courses, not waiting to take that dreaded math class, but getting in there and addressing their needs immediately and continuously. So it's really a two-way street, and that's been one of the reasons the program is so successful, is both the students and the staff understand their end of the bargain, as it were.
So they have to step up as well.
Absolutely.
Now, this idea of going full-time, I remember when ASAP first started.
Yes.
On many of our campuses, we said, who's going to be able to go full-time? And so let's talk about that.
Yep.
How did this full-time requirement work, and has it limited the outreach for ASAP?
It really hasn't.
Okay.
So It's a myth that most students can't go full-time.
Okay.
So almost 85% of CUNY first-time freshmen enter full-time. So most students come to CUNY fully intending to go full-time, and it's only after that first semester that they drop to part-time. Now, there's lots of reasons for that, but in ASAP, what we try to do is to provide as many reasons as possible and as many options as possible for the students to go full-time. So a consolidated schedule is huge. Not having to take one class at 9 a.m. and another at 3 p.m.
Sure, yeah.
makes a huge difference. So the fact that we can give them a consolidated schedule, the fact that they're taking classes with fellow ASAP students, we call those our blocked first-year courses. They form camaraderie. They make a network of friends from day one.
Is this a learning community idea?
Very much so, yes. It's the notion, we call it engaged, early engagement and connected community. This notion that students form alliances with one another, so they want to take classes together, they want to study together. So we really try to, a lot of the reasons students eventually drop to part-time is they can't get the schedule they want, books become expensive, transportation, they're making choices of if I do this, I can't do that. So we try to remove as many of those barriers so the students say, oh, I can go full-time. It's not a question of scheduling. It's not a question of not being able to afford all my textbooks.
Why did the designers of the program think that going full-time was so important?
Well, the literature is pretty clear. Part-time students do not graduate in very large numbers. And so beginning full-time and staying full-time is a little bit of a no-brainer, that if we can get them to stay full-time, they will graduate faster. But what we also notice is that academic momentum has other effects. Students become more engaged in the college community. They develop self-advocacy skills. They join clubs. They become part of our student leader program. They try an internship. So it really is about building not just academic momentum, but the whole student. So we really believe that we can create a full-time schedule for most students. So it has not been a problem. There have been instances where if a student has a very significant personal issue or medical issue and they need to step out part-time for a semester, we welcome them back in and just double up on a class over the summer or the winter so they can still graduate within that 3-year time frame.
So you do everything you can to be welcoming and accommodating, it sounds
yes,
to me. Okay.
We really want them to graduate in a timely manner.
So what have been the program's effects on students? There are many. We'll start now. What have been some of the program's effects that you've seen happening?
So I'll start with our graduation rate.
Let's talk about that.
When the program began, we set a very lofty goal for ourselves. We said we would graduate at least 50% of students within 3 years. So when ASAP began in 2007, the 3-year graduation rate for fully skills proficient students was 24%. And for all students, it was about 14%. So we had a very high mountain to climb, as it were. The first 2 cohorts, 55% graduation rate. Now we are seeing our 6th cohort about to graduate. We have a cross-cohort graduation rate of 52% versus 22% for our comparison group. So we've seen huge outcomes consistently that we've been able to more than double the graduation rate.
It's phenomenal.
Thank you.
That really is.
Thank you so
much. All of us in CUNY know that, and people nationally know that. Now, I know that you have worked with there were some campuses that you worked with initially, and these campuses were part of the assessment of the program that you ultimately conducted, and we're going to talk about that in a minute. Jim Carney had the opportunity to visit one of the campuses, and that was Bronx Community Campus right here in the Bronx. So let's take a look and see what he found out about ASAP.
Bronx Community College sits on one of the oldest campuses in New York City. It also serves one of the most underserved populations in the nation. As a result, the ASAP program is especially important here.
Our students are pretty young, so many of them are coming straight from high school. But they have a life experience maybe that many other students may not have, or more like traditional students may not have. So many of these students go through certain hardship in life, but yet they have that motivation to do better.
My story is kind of really similar to maybe other students out there. I lived in the shadows for 8 years as an undocumented student, and going to college was really one of my main goals. So when I was finally given the opportunity to come to school, I took it with all I had.
Well, in terms of ASAP, I have an ASAP advisor who is always keeping me on track in terms of what classes I need. The career specialist also helps me out with resume and looking for jobs and internships that will allow me to move forward and be able to accomplish what I want to do in my career.
I've been out of school for a while, and so this is my chance to reintegrate into the college system. And so Bronx Community afforded me that opportunity together with the ASAP program.
We have a lot of students who complete the program in 2 years, so they are on point. But many others, face bumps along the way. So it's not uncommon to have to prolong that education journey.
Me personally, I do have a 9-month-old baby, so it's really hard to be managing school and her at the same time. But what does keep me going is the fact that I do want an education and career to be able to support my daughter and be a good role model for her.
The meaning of a degree varies among the students depending on what position they are in life at the moment. If they are incoming freshmen straight out of high school, they may not have clarity as to what they want to pursue, or they may think they have an idea of what they want to pursue, but once they get here, that changes. But then you have the students that are maybe a little more mature, that they are, they have family responsibilities, they know they want to have advancement, they want their families to have a better life. So that creates a lot of meaning for them as to what direction they're taking.
What about the ASCP program makes it easier for you to attend college?
I'd say the Metro card. It's really expensive to buy Metro cards every day. And mostly the advising. I love my advisor. It's really personal. I hear my friends talk about, I don't know my advisor, I don't know what to do. We got our advisors handpicked.
What are some of the obstacles that the students from the community who come to ASAP face in getting a degree that you help them with in the program?
Family support is the biggest one, especially from the Hispanic culture. Not many of the parents recognize the importance of an education. So as a result of that, they don't get that family support. So that's a big hindrance.
Most of our students, for most of them, English is a second language. And when they come in, I've been with ASAP since it started 8 years ago. And when they come to the school, they speak very little English, they're confused, they really don't know what they want to do. And the most amazing thing is to see them graduate speaking perfect English. And so that tells a story in itself. They just blossom and they bloom. And so that's really rewarding.
The results of the ASP program speak for themselves. This year may be the third year that the valedictorian is a graduate of the program. Now back to Linda and her guest in the studio.
What were you taken with when you watched this footage?
I love hearing from students, and them talking about the connection they feel to their advisors is something that never gets old for me. It's something that's so incredibly important and so frequently overlooked. Understandably so. Advisement is expensive, but the fact that the students all spoke about having a personal connection with their advisor, and the fact that ASAP was able to remove some of the barriers, financial barriers, to allow the students to attend college full-time. Really, I think that's so important, and it makes me very happy to hear the students speak about it with such warmth.
You undertook a fairly rigorous assessment of the program. Can you tell us a little bit about what that entailed, who conducted it?
Sure. So there's two components to ASAP evaluation. There's the internal evaluation that we do. I have a fully embedded research and evaluation team that works for me. So we conduct ongoing internal evaluation of the program. Since inception, we've done that. So we're constantly looking at graduation rates, retention, movement through developmental education. We've also conducted 2 external evaluations of ASAP. We did a cost-benefit analysis led by Dr. Henry Levin from Teachers College, which looked at both the cost effectiveness of the program as well as the cost benefits to the program. And he found that not only was ASAP cost effective in terms of it being a more efficient use of resources, but it actually costs less per graduate because we graduate so many more students, and that the cost benefits of the program in terms of increased lifetime earnings, increased tax revenues, and then savings to the public sector in terms of criminal justice, public health, and social services. ASAP more than paid for itself when you looked at the net benefits. But we recently concluded a 5-year random assignment study of ASAP led by MDRC, and they're probably the most well-regarded social research agency in the country. So they looked at a subset of students at 3 of our colleges, 900 students over 3 years, and they found very similar effects, that ASAP essentially doubled the graduation rate. So we're extremely pleased that their findings echoed our own.
Was this true for developmental students as well?
Yes, the MDRC study only looked at students with developmental need, which was very important. And they found that ASAP students had basically twice the graduation rate, again echoing what we see for students with developmental need versus comparison group students.
And what about the ASAP cohort transfer to a senior college as compared to the control group?
So MDRC found that more ASAP students transfer and move on to baccalaureate study. We very much find that in terms of our own analysis as well. The vast majority of our students graduate and immediately move on to baccalaureate study. And for our first cohort, we found that about 60% have earned a bachelor's degree within 4 years.
You know, I really read a lot of the reports, to be honest with you, and I noticed that your control groups also included full-time students. And that was one of the initial criticisms or the concerns about ASAP, that, well, if you're only looking, you know, students going full-time, but you looked at students who were full-time, not in ASAP.
Yes.
And the ASAP cohort did better than that group as well, which undercuts that argument that it's only because they were full-time.
Oh, yeah, that's
that they did well. And I know that was a criticism that had come up earlier, but your study really validates the fact that you were able to move those students forward. You mentioned the cost effective. I know I'd asked you earlier who funds this. It's expensive. So what you're really saying is that it pays for itself?
So, well, I should say Hank Levins and his colleague.
So you don't have to say
Dr. Emma Garcia, 2 renowned education economists, are saying it for us, which is fantastic.
Yes.
So what they found is that for every dollar invested in ASAP, that it's a savings of approximately $3.50 to the public sector in terms of those increased tax benefits and savings, and then for every dollar the student invests in terms of perhaps working a little bit less, they recoup more than $12 in lifetime earnings. So it's quite impressive.
You have studied this program so closely and carefully. Do you have an inkling or a sense yourself of what you think are the components? Are there some components that you think are more valuable than others, or is it the synergy of everything? What's your sense?
I really
of what makes ASAP work?
No, it's a question I get all the time. I really do feel it is the synergy of the program, of the elements coming together. But what I firmly believe it's the full-time structured degree pathway coupled with coordinated and comprehensive services and a very specific implementation model. We really pay attention to every single aspect of how the program is implemented. We're driven by data. We're constantly looking at our own data to see where can we make improvements to the student experience. We look at trends. So it's really that combination of a structured degree pathway, connected community, comprehensive services, and a very carefully data-driven implementation model.
So what's next for ASAP, both within CUNY and outside of CUNY?
So we've been very busy. Again, the mayor has invested heavily in ASAP, so we'll be expanding again. We did first phase expansion from about 1,100 students to 4,300 students, and now we're going from 4,300 students to 13,000 students over the next 3 years. Again, supported by the mayor's office, our expansion will be heavily focused on including more STEM majors, science, technology, engineering, and math majors. That's some of the highest growth, job growth in the city. So we want to make sure students who are interested in those careers have every opportunity to access ASAP. We're also, for the first time, dipping our foot into the baccalaureate world. So John Jay College is joining the ASAP family this fall, funded by the Robin Hood Foundation, and they'll be seeking to move to double their 4-year graduation rate. So at least 50% of students earning a bachelor's degree in 4 years. So we're very excited to welcome them into the project. And then lastly, we're part of an ASAP replication demonstration project in the state of Ohio with MDRC and the Ohio Board of Regents, and 3 community colleges in Ohio are seeking to replicate the whole ASAP package at their campuses, and that launches this fall.
Well, we're all going to be looking forward to seeing those expansions, and I want to thank you so much for coming on the program today.
Thank you so
and
much.
Sharing with the CUNY family this really important program at CUNY, the ASAP program.
Thank
University Donna Linderman, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Linda.
And please don't go away. We'll be right back with our EdBytes. Welcome back to this edition of EdBytes.
How much homework is enough homework? New studies in Europe indicate that 60 minutes is the ideal amount of time. 90 minutes or more of homework actually led to a decline in student skills in math and science, while an hour to 70 minutes of work showed increases in student learning. Students who worked independently without help from parents reaped the greatest benefit.
ScienceMap.org reports on a study reporting 2 additional benefits to being bilingual. Research has already indicated cognitive benefits to knowing more languages, but now comes evidence that there are social and psychological benefits as well. It seems that individuals who speak more than one language may be better able to recognize multiple perspectives and shift between them. The results suggest that a second language can play an important unconscious role in framing perception. The study's authors contend that knowing another language allows for alternate and possibly more flexible visions of the world.
You've thought about it, maybe even threatened it, but could you disconnect from technology for 3 days? Recently, a school in San Francisco issued a Tech Timeout academic challenge for students in grade 4 through 12, and students and teachers could not use any digital devices for 3 days to better understand the role of technology in their lives. So how'd they do? After initial separation anxiety, most students reported an increase in using time creatively and less time needed to complete homework. Some said they had more interactions with friends and family. All became more aware of their dependency on these devices.
Mindfulness has been championed as a way of dealing with stress and improving the quality of life. But can it benefit kids in school? Developmental psychology reports that mindfulness can help young children do better in everything, from social skills to math. 4th and 5th graders who did mindfulness exercises had 15% better math scores than their peers. They also outperformed their peers in cognitive and emotional control, as well as empathy and optimism. We did a show on mindfulness a number of years ago. I believe the Goldie Hawn Foundation was on the show, and Goldie Hawn was on the show, and it really did show how helpful mindfulness can be.
I looked into it after that, and I actually adapted some of the techniques, and I find that it helps me in general in life, but even in front of a group of students in the classroom, I find myself a little more, how should I put it, a little more easy to deal with some of the problems in the class. So it does work.
It's a useful strategy. That's it for this edition of EdCast.
Until next time, class dismissed.